We're here today to talk about women, wealth, and giving with Margaret May Damen and Mary Quist-Newins. Mary is the State Farm Chair of Women in Financial Services, and Margaret is our guest today. She is the author of Women, Wealth, and Giving, a new book. The subtitle is A Virtuous Legacy of the Boom Generation. Margaret, you made the point that going forward, men are going to have to accept leadership from women. They're going to be better listeners and more sensitive in the process. And I agree with all those points. Let's ask though, what is the business case? In other words, how does this pay off for a man or a woman doing this kind of work? What is the business case that supports this kind of work?
There is enormous business that we're leaving on the table by not dealing with the unit, the family unit of the woman and the man, and taking both of their insights and asking questions to both partners when we're doing the discovery process. I think that in many cases we're moving from a transactional financial planning process to a transformational one. And as we make that move, then it's going to take longer for us to establish the rapport and the trusted advisor relationship. But by doing that, and by not looking at the bottom line to be right there immediate, we're able to have more assets under management. We will have larger fee base assets under management for a longer period of time, and we'll be able to be in more of the segments of our clients' lifestyle when it comes to what the wealth creation necessities are and what their goals are. So there's an enormous opportunity to the bottom line of anyone's book, and the fact that as we move from commission to more fee-based commission in many of our financial planning process role models, many of the models for business, I think that when you start on January 1st, you're going to have a larger payout every year. You're not going to have to start from scratch because you're going to have an ongoing cash flow from those assets under management and from the fees that you collect by doing annual reviews and financial planning.
Can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned a word called transformational, so I'm intrigued by that word. Can you talk about the difference between transactional and transformational and how that is manifested when you go through the planning process, and particularly as it relates to philanthropy and charitable giving?
Very good question, Mary. When we've all been trained in transactional type relationships, we end up looking at what our goal is. In other words, we come to the table with, this is what I think is right for the client, this is what I want to sell, this is what I believe, if it's annuity, insurance policy, or a mutual fund. If you look at a transformational model, you are then eliciting from those clients what their values are, what they believe is important in their lives, what personality they want to give to their money and to their assets. And then you can transform what they're doing with that money or what they want to do with that money into the goals that they have established, so that the tools and the techniques become almost secondary. You have no preconceived notions as you go into the discovery process. And what occurs then is that you are deeper in the relationships and you become the first line of the trusted advisor when a problem comes up, or when an inheritance comes up, or when sudden money, or anything that happens in their lifestyle. So you're connecting finances to passion, to purpose, to their values. And that's what transformational is. It takes a little longer, but it's much more rewarding for not only you as the advisor, but for the client, because you're uncovering ways that they have never thought possible to have significance in their life after they've had the success.
How would you go about building a practice? What advice would you give on building a practice in this area with somebody who might be charitably inclined but has a heart for it?
You know, I've always said that we look for collaboration and we look for ways to network. And I think that in this decade, because of the specialization in so many areas of financial planning, we have the greatest opportunity to look for those advisors that either are part of the AIP, the Advisors in Philanthropy program, are those that have achieved the CAP degree from the University College here, American College. We have an opportunity to look into our own lives as financial advisors as to what not-for-profits and what areas that we support, and then network with those people in those organizations to tell them of our services that are different from the transaction-type services that are here for advisors. We have the ability to network and give presentations on what philanthropy means to not only the client, but what it's going to mean to this winter of our discontent we are on in the economy as we reset the economy going forward. We have the ability to then present a different perspective of what it means to marry money and philanthropy for the client and also for the benefit of the greater good.
Margaret May, can you talk about, you talked a little bit about some of the designations and organizations that someone might want to join to basically play in this game, if you will. Call it a game is probably the wrong word. But talk about some of the technical competencies that one should have and build to be credible with other people and other professionals who are in this market. What are they looking for?
Technical competencies. Wow. I mean, you open up a can of words there, and you also open up the alphabet soup. Because those of us that have been working in this field for many, many years believe strongly the more knowledge and the more wisdom you can accomplish and achieve and take in, the better you are to bring it out to your donors and your clients. So say yourself and like myself and like Phil, we've all gone through programs that have given us our CFP, our CLU, our ChFC. In my case, I even have a CDFA, which is a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst, and the CAP program. I started way back in the early 90s with the Renaissance program. My financial planning practice, as I saw it, could only grow and I could only serve my clients better if I knew more about the estate planning and the philanthropic processes that were available to help them, as I see myself as a broker, but a broker of that sacred energy of money that we are stewards of during our lives, our donor's life, and our own life as a financial planner, to be able to nurture that and to help our clients with the knowledge we have, to give them the ability to use it how they feel for humanity. So that as a broker, if I have the designations and studying for those that are available out there, and thank goodness that the American College now has a CAP program, because I see that it is segmenting a portion of our financial advisor profession into those that have the competency to develop the client's philanthropic endeavors and to achieve philanthropic goals. It is so necessary because anyone out there, as you well know, can still call themselves a financial planner. What is it? And so that if we can pull back and look at the competencies and look at the designations and know that those people that are so concerned and so want to make a difference in our clients' lives and our donors' lives are willing to pay the money and put in the time to have those designations, then that's the person that I want to deal with and that I will network and refer my clients to, and to work with those that have that expertise. It's so important.
It is indeed. And Margaret and Mary, thank you both very much. Enjoyed having a conversation with you about it. In our next segment, we're actually going to demonstrate some of these skills.